Yeah, hope I'm audible. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I'm starting from the our previous class. In previous class, we are exit from the class from this slide, road transportation. In the class, we have seen about the transferring of chemicals through various transportation methods like rail and other topics. I'll just take a quick glance so that we can recall. So we discussed about the rupture disk, what it is, how it looks. Then we have discussed about the safe transfer of chemicals. We have discussed about the pipeline is one of the option. Then we have discussed about what are the safety aspects supposed to be considered while transferring chemicals from one place to another place by pipelines. Then in that, we have discussed about underground pipelines as well. Then we have seen color coding of the pipeline, and we have seen stand also IS 2379, which is pipeline color code for the identification of media which is passing through the pipeline to avoid many accidents. Then we have seen precautions to be taken while breaking of the pipeline. Breaking in the sense it is not damaging, it is opening of the flanges in case of any leakage, in case of any service, in case of any replacement, etc., etc. Breaking means not damaging, opening of the pipeline. Then in-plant transfer through pipelines, we have seen about the drums and the carboys, glass bottles, plastic carboys, conveyor belts and the gas cylinders. Then we have discussed about the safe transportation of chemicals by various modes of packing, like plastic bottles, glass bottles, bags, steel drums, etc., etc. Then we have started discussing on a transportation of by various modes of transportation: road, rail, water, and air. So I think we have covered this rail topic, and we not covered this road transportation. Okay. Yes, we complete this, then we'll go to today's class. This is only one slide we have. Okay, road transportation. Road transportation means basically we'll see the big trucks which is going on the roads, saying that it will have a big symbol. It is corrosive or flammable. When these trucks passes many states or villages or the dense population cities as well. So what are the problems we will face with this road tankers? Basically, in case of any accident happens middle of the city or any dense population, if it is a toxic material or any flammable material, it's get evaporated and form an flammable mixture. If it is a toxic, it will expand all the toxic fumes nearby the quantity or nearby the areas. So it will create a danger situation. So the tanker should be as big as well, should not leak, and it should not destroy itself. So road tankers are constructed in a wide variety of materials like steel and stainless steel lined materials, and also FRP, fiber reinforced plastic. So thank God, first time I can able to recall in one shot this specific full form. Okay. So sometimes they need to be heated and cooled. So based on the type of chemical, we use this road tankers. I mean the MOC, material of construction of the tanker. అంటే ఏంటంటే ఎటువంటి రకమైన అంటే ఎటువంటి నేచర్ అంటే నేచర్ అంటే ఏమవచ్చు బిహేవియర్ అంటే దాని స్వభావం ఉన్న కెమికల్ ని మనము ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము, దాన్ని బట్టి మనం దాని యొక్క సంబంధిత అంటే లేదంటే కంపాటబుల్ ఉండే road tanker ni use చేస్తాం. Road tankers are their fitting should be capable of absorbing the following forces. It means how the tanker should capable in the direction of travel twice the total weight, and vertically downward twice the total weight, and vertically upwards total weight, and horizontally at right angles to direction of the total weight. Sorry. One second, I'm not able to open this message. Somebody. Yeah, Suresh. In the direction of travel twice the total weight, it should be able to capable of weighting the total double weight of the liquid. We're traveling vertical downwards twice the total weight, and vertical upwards total the weight of the vehicle, and horizontal at right angles to the direction of the total travel total weight. In the sense, the tanker should be able to manage the total weight of the material as well as the vehicle weight, which means all the fittings in the sense, or the total the components which is used to make that vehicle. అంటే ఆ బండి అనేది ఎటువైపు నుంచి చూసినా కూడాను ఒకసారి మనము డౌన్ హిల్ స్టేషన్స్ కానీ అప్ హిల్ స్టేషన్స్ మనకి ఏమంటారు హిల్ స్టేషన్స్ లో బండి నడుపుతూ ఉంటారు. సో అంటే ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్స్ లో కూడాను the vehicle should able to capable or able to manage the weight of the material as well as the truck weight. The service equipment such as valves, fittings, the gauges, etc. should be protected against the impact, and the three types of independent stop valves, internal, external, and bind flange are required. For certain gases like HF, hydrofluorins, and shell opening at the bottom is required, permitted, and the feasible plug to operate below 90 degrees is suggested in case of any petroleum tanker. Spark arrestor on the exhaust and portable fire extinguisher, trunk card, emergency kit, and instructions to the driver are also necessary. So these are the various kinds of equipments or emergency the kit. It should be available with the vehicle while transporting of chemical from one place to other place. Major thing is the trump card and also the driver instructions. So he is the person who is having overall control or overall knowledge on the chemical. అంటే ఎవరైతే డ్రైవ్ చేస్తున్నారో వాళ్ళు చాలా క్రూషియల్ ఈ కెమికల్ ని కంట్రోల్ చేసేదానికి, బికాస్ దే ఆర్ ద పీపుల్ హూ నోస్ అబౌట్ దట్ కెమికల్ ఆన్ ది ఇమీడియట్ విసినిటీ. సో వాళ్ళకి మాత్రం ఐడియా ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి we have to ensure before the truck going out of the premises, it is our responsibility to ensure the driver and the person who is assisting him, they should know the complete knowledge on the chemical and do's and don'ts of the chemical. Then the emergency kit usage, how to use in a fire extinguisher, how to use in the emergency cleaning, how to use the PPEs, and also they should well known about the instructions to be followed. Okay, వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే ఈ ఎమర్జెన్సీ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ ని కానీ తర్వాత ఫైర్ ఫైటింగ్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ కానీ లీకేజ్ కంట్రోల్ సిస్టమ్ గురించి కానీ వాళ్ళకి కంప్లీట్ గా తెలిసి ఉండాలి. లేదు అంటే they can't able to manage the spillage in case if it happens. One second. I'm sharing the today's presentation. So done with that. Okay. Fine. We have seen rail and road. Now we'll talk about the other mode, water transport. Water transport is nothing but you are transporting the chemical by water from means use the ships or the boats for transporting of chemical from one place to other place. This is also a major contributor for transporting of materials from longer distances over water. Majorly, we use oceans. సముద్రాల ద్వారా మనము ఈ రసాయనాన్ని ఒక ప్లేస్ నుంచి ఇంకొక ప్లేస్ కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాము. So anybody can guess what kind of risk will be there while transporting chemical from one place to other place by using water? What kind of risk will have?
There we can cause if accident, the chemical can cause mix with the seawater. It is harmful to the environment.
Very good. What kind of pollution happens in case of any accident happens in the middle of the sea? So it can collapse the complete the biosystem in the water. It can pollute the complete water, all the flora and fauna, and the water related animals which is lives in water, all they die. If it is an oil, there also it can make a layer over the surface of the water. The oxidation will not happen. The animals which are there inside, they can't able to get the enough oxygen to breathe in. So in such case also it leads to die the animals. Yeah. Somebody is asking. A quite lot of chemicals are transported by ocean, going ships, or on the river tunnels. In India, it is not there rivers, and I think in the I've heard very long back they are planning a river transportation in India also. The crude oil, petroleum products, natural gas, and other dangerous goods are some of the biggest bulk commodities in the international commerce. And because of their huge quantities involved, spillage and leakage can create gigantic pollution problems, besides a fire hazard. And there have been several mishaps of this type. Tanker design has assumed the special safeguards being made to prevent the accidental spillages. Because of their
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, sir,
Yes.
the weather conditions in ocean is very unpredictable, sir. So, because of those weather conditions, we cannot expect any reaction. I mean, those chemicals can mix. They can be, the pressure can build up with those weather conditions while transporting. So, is this a reason for not transporting chemicals on ocean, sir?
I didn't got you, Bhargav. Can you please explain once again? Or else you do one thing, you put your question in chat box so that I
the
can
weather
explain.
conditions in ocean. So weather conditions in ocean is very unpredictable, sir. So because of that, కెమికల్స్ క్యాన్ మిక్స్, ఐ మీన్ అంటే కుదుపులు వస్తాయి కదా సార్, కుదుపులు వచ్చినప్పుడు ఆ ప్రెషర్ బిల్డ్ అవ్వడం అలాంటి వాటి వల్ల ఏమైనా ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్ అసాధ్యం కాదంటారా?
I mean, in the water transportation అడుగుతున్నారా, ఓవర్సీ సముద్రం ద్వారా? If my understanding is correct, so that's what in this sentence itself it is telling about. Okay? The design of the container, I think where it is somewhere I have read this. Because of the huge quantity, they have been several mishaps happened. The tanker design has assumed a special safeguards. So whatever the type of chemical they are transporting over the sea, I mean through water ద్వారా చేస్తున్నారు షిప్స్ ద్వారా, ఈ ట్యాంకర్స్ అనేవి based on the properties of the chemical, it is being designed. So మీరు అన్నట్టుగా the chemical which is shaken or which is pressurized with the other bad weather conditions, the tanker can able to withhold. Until unless it is happened with the any severe damage happens, they can't do it. But with the properties of the chemical, the tanker designs are able to handle all these kind of mishaps. అది దాని అంతటా అది హ్యాండిల్ చేసుకోవాలి, అది డిజైన్ అంతా కూడా ఉంటుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనము ఫ్యాక్టరీస్లో రియాక్టర్లో రియాక్షన్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఆ రియాక్షన్స్ ఏదైనా ఎగ్జోథర్మిక్ అయినప్పుడు ఆ రియాక్టర్ అనేది ఆల్రెడీ డిజైన్ చేయబడుతుంది. సో మనకేముంటుంది, వర్కింగ్ ప్రెషర్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది, తర్వాత టెస్ట్ ప్రెషర్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. బేసిక్గా మనం రియాక్షన్స్ అన్నీ కూడా చేసేది వీలో వర్కింగ్ ప్రెషర్లోనే చేస్తాం. సో టెస్టింగ్ ప్రెషర్ ఎప్పుడు కూడా వర్కింగ్ ప్రెషర్ కంటే 1.5 times ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ రాంగ్, ఆర్ 1.3 times కరెక్ట్ అంతా మనము ఆ రియాక్టర్ని డిజైన్ చేస్తారు. సో అదేవిధంగా ఈ రోడ్ ట్యాంక్స్ కూడాను ఈ వాటర్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఈ వెజల్స్లో ఉండే కంపార్ట్మెంట్స్ కూడాను సేమ్ కండిషన్స్ని హ్యాండిల్ చేసే విధంగా వీటిని డిజైన్ చేసి ఉంటారు. ఈవెన్ టెంపరేచర్ కంట్రోల్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏదైనా ఒక కెమికల్ని నేను సర్టెన్ టెంపరేచర్ వద్ద నేను స్టోర్ చేసి తీసుకెళ్ళాలంటే దే విల్ హ్యావ్ ఆల్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఫెసిలిటీస్ టు transport the chemical as per the conditions, as per the weather, temperature requirements, the storage requirements. I hope I have answered your question. Yeah. Then when solid chemicals are transported, the care should be taken that the material will not take up because of the moisture. So that is maybe required to empty it pneumatically. When carrying a drum or any cylinders, they should be properly lashed so as not to break loss. In the river transport, spillage of the chemicals may cause a very serious pollution problems. So if you could so while transporting the solid materials will not be cake up. So it getting out. Some of the chemicals will react with the moisture, so it can become a cake. For example, cement. Cement basically it is in the form of a powder, fine particles. If it is affected with the moisture, automatically it will become hard cake. So the containers, as I mentioned, the compartments will have a provision, or it is those compartments are capable to maintain the preservation conditions as per the material which required. Then, as I mentioned, spillages are very dangerous. It leads to very serious pollution problems. The carriage of dangerous goods by sea is a day by day increasing. About 4,000 million tons of cargo enters the worldwide and seaborne trade every year, and in which about 100 million tons of dangerous goods in the fact from more than 1 lakh types of chemicals are transported by sea. And there could be a solid, liquid, or gases in a bulk storage, or in a bulk quantities. And while cutting oil tanks and also pipelines on the ships at the analog shipyards, Bhavnagar, and many fatal accidents have been taken place. Thus, this end of the problems even after transportation by sea as well. In the sense, if you see in the overall worldwide, there are thousands of million tons of chemicals have been transported. Most of them or dangerous goods, or most of them are non-dangerous as well. So will be take care of while carrying or transporting the dangerous goods over the sea. And in case of, excuse me, in case of any accident happens during the transportation, the results will be very pathetic, which means with respect to the pollution. Now we have done with the mode of transportation of chemical. Now we'll see the inspection, testing, and maintenance. So how we can inspect the manufacturing or the chemical plants. Then process flow charts, and it is the importance of inspection. Because the process flow chart is the guide for any inspection. Okay, మనం వాడే process flow diagram అంటాము, లేదంటే process flow chart అంటాము. ఇవి కూడాను ఇన్స్పెక్షన్ చేయడానికి చాలా ఉపయోగపడుతూ ఉంటాయి. So if you see, a process flow chart is the most important in the chemical factory. It is also designed by the plant in charge or process supervisors as per the company's requirement. It includes the names and weights of raw materials to be charged, and their sequence of charging, time cycle, heating, cooling, etc. And addition of water and other reactions. The reaction time details are to be filled in by the shift in charge, chemist or supervisor. After the reaction is over, and as per the batch process proceeds, those operators are also to be added. The process flow chart is very important. It is designed by whom? R&D team or the technical experts. They will design the process flow chart. What's supposed to be happen next? And it includes the names, weights of the raw materials to be charged, in the sense added. ఒక reaction లో, ఒక process reaction లో ఎటువంటి కెమికల్స్ అంటే ఏ కెమికల్స్ ఎంత క్వాంటిటీస్ లో యాడ్ అవ్వాలి, ఎంత టెంపరేచర్ దగ్గర వాటికి ఎంత హీట్ ని వాటికి ఇవ్వాలి, ఎంత వాటర్ ని అడిషన్ చేస్తూ ఉండాలి, ఎంత టైం దాన్ని హీట్ చేయాలి, ఇవన్నీ కూడాను మన ఫ్లో చార్ట్ లో ఉంటాయి. వీటన్నింటి కూడాను మనకి కెమిస్ట్ కానీ షిఫ్ట్ సూపర్వైజర్ కానీ వాళ్ళు బ్యాచ్ షీట్ లో రాస్తూ ఉంటారు. సో ఇది ఏంటంటే దీనివల్ల ద కంటిన్యూషన్ షిఫ్ట్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక బ్యాచ్ అనేది 8 hours లో కంప్లీట్ అవ్వకపోవచ్చు. సమ్ టైమ్స్ ద బ్యాచ్ గోస్ టు 3 shifts or 4 shifts also, I mean the following day also. So that by updating the batch sheet, they can able to understand the following shift team or the shift technician or the shift chemist can able to understand what has happened in the previous shift. Sometimes it is also called as batch sheet when flow chart is prepared batch wise. Okay, and the process flow chart is useful in the carrying out the inspections. It helps us to make a round in the chronological order of the process flow and to understand the process systematically during inspection. A round is required starting from the unloading of the materials in the storage facility, the process buildings, unit operations, and filling of the products and the product godown, loading of the product, effluent treatment plants, etc. If the process flow chart is understood in advance, inspection can become easy and complete. So process flow అంటే ఏంటంటే గేట్ దగ్గర నుంచి రా మెటీరియల్ ఇంటేక్ నుంచి అక్కడి నుంచి ప్రొడక్షన్ ప్రాసెస్ లో ఉండే ట్యాంక్స్ నుంచి రియాక్టర్కి వెళ్ళి అక్కడ రియాక్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత దెన్ అగైన్ మరి కంప్లీషన్ అంటే ఫినిష్డ్ గుడ్ స్టోరేజ్ నుంచి అక్కడి నుంచి ప్యాకింగ్, అక్కడి నుంచి డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయ్యేంత వరకు. అంటే ఇన్ అండ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ కంప్లీట్ ఆపరేషన్స్ వీ షుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ బిఫోర్ గోయింగ్ టు ది ఇన్స్పెక్షన్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను అన్ని ఇన్స్పెక్షన్ చేయట్లేదు. ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ డూయింగ్ all the inspections in one stretch. So if I'm doing only for the tank pump, you should understand the total the tank pump circuits, the diagram of the tank pump area. How many tanks are there? How many lines are passing through the process? What are the compatibility of these chemicals? Then you have to understand the bund. Then what kind of safety precautions are there? Either relief valves or breathers or isolation valves. Then you have emergency control systems. and the sensors, auto detectors. Then you should understand the complete circuit of the tank farm area, which is nothing but a raw metal storage. Then you can go to that area for the inspection so that you can easily complete it. We'll see where are the various kinds of inspection areas. One is the standard conditions of the process and storage. Like you should know the initial information, process description, and operating instructions, how they do. And with respect to plant integrity, you can inspect on safe working limits of the equipments and also people. What is their limits and also what is the limitation of the equipment? Like in the sense, the capacities. For example, if I use a reactor which is designed for working pressure at 6 bar, but they are using up to 7 bar. That is not its limit. Its limit is only 6 bar or 6 kg per centimeter cube. Then design and construction inspection, test certificates, and proactive devices and maintenance also you can do how it is happening. Then inspection and testing, inspection authority, and evaluation of plant integrity means how you are evaluating the integrity, which is the strength of the plant, the condition of the plant. You can inspect the vessels, pipelines, pumps, and auxiliary equipment, modification to the plant and equipment, and the management control. What kind of controls are there in your plant? Then process deviations. You can understand what kind of process deviations can happen. The process deviation, like what are the different deviations, like variables, what are the parameters, and the chemistry, and the pressure, temperature, level, flow deviations, impacts, and services, startup and shutdown, operational errors, like sensory failure or failure to logic or failure to act properly, and emergency procedures and fire precautions. These are the various process deviations you can assess. Now we'll see some salient points for the above what we have seen. One is the serious accident arise from a loss of contaminant of the hazardous substances. Therefore, these possibilities and the plant items should be inspected in detail. So serious accident is loss of containment of hazardous substances. ఎప్పుడైతే మనకి లీకేజెస్ అవుతాయో అక్కడ మనకి it leads to serious accidents. Then most vulnerable parts of the dye plants are procedure or system should be identified from ongoing in the plant layout and process flow diagrams, working around the installations, records of the failure history, and also past accidents are useful. So before going for inspection, you have to understand the past incidents which have happened, then process flow diagram, so that you can do a proper inspection to come up with a good observations. And safety arrangements should be checked, and also in relation to offsite impact with the local populations. Then all available expertise should be applied, example, engineering, chemical, medical management, etc. And a meeting and discussion with the experts in the plant can be useful. So before going inspection, you have to take help of other team members who are maintenance, instrumentation from the process, quality, and R&D, so that you can able to understand the complete concept and also the controls of the plant. You can do a better inspection. Then competence of the occupier and contractor should be verified regarding the better choice of process, catalyst, equipment, etc., operating pressure, temperature, residence time, etc., and also management control system. Competence of the occupier. Occupier in the sense, not the owner of the company, the people who are operating the equipments, as well as the contractors who are involved in the process. They should be knowledge enough and వాళ్ళకి కూడాను proper knowledge అనేది ఉండాలి while operating all these kind of equipments. Then process document like process description, operating procedures, safety information, emergency manuals, etc. should be scrutinized for completeness and the quality. So process document, process description. So you have defined about your process, how it is been working. Process description means your overall process. Then operating procedures will be for the specific equipment or specific activity operating procedures. Then safety information about the overall process and also task specific safety information. Then emergency manuals based on the potential emergency situations you have identified. ఇందులో ఏంటంటే టోటల్ ప్రాసెస్ డిస్క్రిప్షన్ కి మనం తెలిసి ఉండాలి. ఆటోమేటిక్ గా ఆపరేటింగ్ ప్రొసీజర్ అంటే ఏదైనా డిఫరెంట్ ప్రాసెస్ లో మనకి ఎన్నో రకాలైన ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్ ని యూజ్ చేస్తుంటాము. ఈచ్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ ని ఎలా ఆపరేట్ చేయాలో ఆ ప్రొసీజర్స్ ఉండాలి. నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఎక్విప్మెంట్, యాక్టివిటీ. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆపరేటింగ్ రియాక్టర్ ఆర్ ANFD, centrifuge or charging of the chemical, and also spill containment procedures, firefighting procedures, and sample collection procedures, and cleaning procedures, all these operating procedures. Then safety information for all these procedures or activities which you are performing. Then emergency manual, prediction, అంటే మనము ప్లాన్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తూ what kind of emergencies can happen. We'll have the possible emergency situations. So we have to look into all possible emergency situations. Then we have to take proper actions. Then process description should be inclusive of principles involved like basic chemistry of main and side reactions, hazards of the materials, and also safety precautions, plant equipment list, line diagram, transport, storage, and transfer arrangements, and operating parameters and their safe limits, SOPs, and the procedure for authorizing process changes. So ఈ ప్రాసెస్ డిస్క్రిప్షన్ లో ఏమేమి ఉండాలి? ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఇన్క్లూజివ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్ బేసిక్ కెమిస్ట్రీ. సో హౌ what reaction is going to happen, and the main and side reactions. Side reaction things, while doing the reaction process, it will lead to many side reactions. So you should be able to know what kind of side reactions which will happen during the process. Okay. Then also you should know the complete equipment list and also the line diagram. Line diagram in the sense you have where the chemical is entering and how it is going out of the process and the reaction. All these things we have to check. Then operating instructions should be include flow sequence and also the batch sheet, the conditions to be maintained. Then action of the process controls and monitoring instruments, allowable and also variation limits, and also the action necessary when the limit is reached, emergency procedures, and reporting a route, and also training schedule of the operators. So operator instruction should be, it is having flow sequence. అంటే ఎలా అంటే ఏ కెమికల్ అనేది ఎప్పుడు సో ఫస్ట్ కెమికల్ ఏ రావాలా, కెమికల్ బి రావాలా, కెమికల్ సి రావాలా. తర్వాత బ్యాచ్ షీట్ అంటే మనము ఏదైతే రియాక్షన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసామో ఆ రియాక్షన్ యొక్క కంప్లీట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, పారామీటర్స్ కానీ, ప్రెషర్ కానీ, టెంపరేచర్ కానీ, కూలింగ్ కానీ, తర్వాత క్వాంటిటీస్ కానీ, ఇవన్నీ కూడా conditions to be maintained since temperature conditions. Then monitoring instruments. So what kind of monitoring instruments are there? Then allowable variation limits, plus or minus. If the reaction is supposed to be happen at 60 degrees centigrade, if it is plus or minus 1-2 degree, it is allowable variation limits. They should be known, and also the training should be given to the operators. For plant integrity, the safe working limits of the plant, including a pressure vessels, should be carefully established as design data and compatible with the normal process operating conditions. And the design data should include the range of pressure, temperature, loading, flow rates, operating cycle, and basis for pressure relief, and also the properties of the substance. So design of the vessel is depends on all these conditions. The pressure and temperature of the chemical, loading flow rates, and also the operation cycle. So how much time it will take, or it will be there, or I mean, for example, if while doing a reaction, the reaction happens at 10 kg pressure for 2 hours or 3 hours. I mean, it is the holding pressure. Then the plant should be designed, constructed, inspected, tested, and certified according to the design and construction code, which will achieve the safe working limits. And the protective devices maybe include the pressure and the vacuum relief valves, and rupture disc, explosion vents, high and low nickel alarms. In the sense, sometimes it will go, the pressure will very go or low, or it will drop down, or high temperatures or high pressures. And weight table, the content gauges, and the maximum fin gauges, the padding air or gas reduction valves, and many forms of instrumentation. And such device should be checked for its suitability and also the purpose which is intended. So protective device, everything will come in. Safety relief